Progress feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. Ever heard that? It's one of those truths that hits you right when you're about to give up. You know that feeling, right? You start something new, full of excitement, full of energy. A new project, a new skill, a new business. The first few weeks are amazing. You're making progress, you're learning, you feel like you're on top of the world. And then, it hits. The wall. The slump. Seth Godin calls this the dip. It's that long, hard slog between starting something and actually becoming good at it. It's the point where the initial excitement wears off, and the real work begins. The progress slows down, the challenges pile up, and suddenly, quitting seems like a really attractive option. It's no coincidence that March is often called the quitting month. All those New Year's resolutions made with such high hopes in January start to feel like a heavy burden. The gym gets a little emptier, the language learning app gets a few less taps, and that side hustle you were so passionate about starts gathering digital dust. Why? Because we've all hit the dip. Think about someone learning to play the guitar for the first time. The first few days, they're thrilled just to hold the instrument. They learn a couple of basic chords, maybe even strum a simple tune. It feels great. But then, reality sets in. Their fingers are sore and calloused. The chords that seemed easy now feel clumsy and awkward. They can't switch between them fast enough. Every note buzzes. The gap between the rock star they imagine in their head and the fumbling beginner they see in the mirror feels impossibly wide. This is the dip. It's where the fun stops and the frustrating, repetitive, and often painful practice begins. It is the moment where you have to decide, am I going to push through this discomfort, or am I going to let this beautiful guitar become just another piece of furniture? This is the critical moment that separates the amateurs from the pros, the dabblers from the masters. And it's a moment we all face, not just with guitars, but with almost anything worth doing. So what's really going on in our heads when we're in the dip and the thought of quitting becomes so tempting? It's not just about being lazy or lacking willpower. There are deep psychological reasons at play. One of the biggest is our fear of failure. When we start something new, the stakes are low. We are just trying it out. But once we've invested time and effort, the possibility of not succeeding becomes much more threatening. The dip is where the risk of failure feels most real. We think, what if I put in all this work and I'm still not good enough? What if I fail? Quitting becomes a defense mechanism. If you don't try, you can't fail, right? It's a way to protect our ego from the potential pain of falling short. Then there's our modern obsession with instant gratification. We live in a world of on-demand everything. We want results, and we want them now. We see highlight reels on social media of people who seem to have achieved success overnight. We see the final product, the flawless performance, the thriving business. We don't see the years of grinding through the dip. So when our own journey involves struggle and slow progress, we get impatient. We think something must be wrong. The allure of starting something new and shiny, something that promises that initial rush of excitement again, is incredibly strong. It is easier to jump from one easy start to another than to commit to the difficult middle of one thing. Our brains are also a huge part of the equation. Our minds are fundamentally wired to seek comfort and conserve energy. Learning a new skill, building a business, or changing a habit requires creating new neural pathways. This is hard work for your brain. It's metabolically expensive. Your brain's default setting is to stick to the familiar, the automatic, the easy. The dip is the definition of unfamiliar and difficult. It's a state of high cognitive load and strain. So your brain sends out all sorts of signals to get you to stop: boredom, frustration, anxiety. It's essentially saying, hey, this is too hard. Let's go back to scrolling on our phones or watching TV. That's much easier. It's a survival mechanism that, in the modern world, often works against our long-term goals. Let's take another example, a small business owner. In the beginning, they have a brilliant idea. They create a business plan, design a logo, maybe even make their first few sales to friends and family. The validation is intoxicating. But then, they hit the dip. The initial buzz dies down. They have to figure out marketing, which is more expensive and less effective than they hoped. They face cash flow problems. An unexpected operational hurdle pops up, then another. They're working 80-hour weeks, wearing every hat in the company, from CEO to janitor. They're sacrificing time with family and friends. The dream of being their own boss feels more like being a slave to their own business. They look at their bank account, the mountain of tasks ahead, and think, Maybe I should just go get a stable 9-to-5 job. This is the dip for an entrepreneur. It's the lonely, grueling period between the exciting launch and sustainable profitability. And just like the guitarist, this is where they have to make a choice. Okay, so we know the dip is real, we know it's hard, and we know our brains are working against us. So how do we get through it? How do we push through the struggle and reach the reward on the other side? The good news is, there are concrete, actionable strategies you can use. First, you have to break down your massive goals. When you're in the dip, looking at the summit of Mount Everest feels completely demoralizing. You can't focus on the summit. You have to focus on the next step. If your goal is to write a book, don't think about writing 80,000 words. Think about writing 300 words today. If you want to run a marathon, don't think about the 26.2 miles. Focus on this Tuesday's 3-mile run. Breaking a huge, intimidating goal into tiny, manageable daily or weekly tasks makes it far less overwhelming. It shifts your focus from the impossibly distant future to the achievable present. Second, you absolutely must celebrate the small wins. This is crucial for keeping your motivation alive. Our brains love rewards. When you complete one of those small, broken-down tasks, acknowledge it. Did you practice guitar for 15 minutes even when you didn't feel like it? That's a win. Give yourself a pat on the back. Did you make that one difficult sales call you've been dreading? That's a huge win. Treat yourself to a nice coffee. These small celebrations release dopamine in your brain, which creates a positive feedback loop. It helps you associate the hard work with a feeling of accomplishment, effectively retraining your brain to embrace the challenge instead of running from it. And third, perhaps the most powerful strategy of all, find a support system. The dip is a lonely place. When you're in it, it's easy to feel like you're the only one struggling. You're not. Find other people who are on a similar journey. Join a mastermind group for entrepreneurs. Find a workout buddy. Join an online forum for people learning your new skill. Sharing your struggles with people who get it is incredibly validating. They can offer advice, hold you accountable, and most importantly, remind you that what you're experiencing is normal. They are the ones who can look at you when you want to quit and say, "I know it's hard right now, but you've got this. Keep going." It is so important to remember that the struggle is not a sign that you're going to fail. The struggle is a prerequisite for success. The dip is a filter. It filters out the people who aren't serious enough. If a goal were easy, everyone would do it, and achieving it wouldn't be special. The value, the growth, the mastery, it all lies on the other side of that struggle. Pushing through the sore fingers is what allows you to eventually play a beautiful song. Navigating the early financial hurdles is what builds a resilient, thriving business. So the next time you feel that dip in motivation, that urge to quit, I want you to reframe it. Don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a test. See it as a necessary part of the process. Embrace the discomfort. Lean into the struggle. Because progress feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. And the reward that is waiting for you on the other side of the dip is worth every single moment of the fight. You are capable of pushing through. You are building something amazing. Don't stop now. Thanks so much for watching. If this resonated with you, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for more content to help you achieve your goals. See you in the next one.